Now in Mario games, we go to a lot of strange worlds to save all kinds of people. Most of the time it's Peach though. However, every now and then we go to a very odd place, one that seems impossible to reach, and space is one of those, which we go to in Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. And after going through the first game again recently on stream, which is every Friday, the viewers in stream suggested me to cover my favorite galaxies. And after they mentioned this, I started to think about it and finally realized I have never ever done a video like that on the channel. So today we will finally do this. Let's jump in right away. Number 5. Now, to be honest, it's no secret that I absolutely love the bee mushroom. In my opinion, turning into an actual bee is loads of fun. And in the game there are a number of levels where this power-up is the main mechanic of the whole level. One of those is Honeyclimb Galaxy, a level that I enjoy a lot, which I realized when finally playing it again after such a long time. The world is entirely made out of honeycomb walls, and that's all the galaxy is. Groups of giant floating honeycombs. All you have to do in this level is navigate through them and reach the star. But personally, I think using the power-up to fly from one bit to another is tons of fun. It's a bit like climbing a mountain. However, we have already seen stuff like that in a series many times, and in my opinion, this is a different take on it, because all you do is climb the honeycomb wall to reach the top where there is a launch star that will lead to the next area where a similar thing happens once again. However, instead of using Mario's standard platforming moves to go through this all, you're now utilizing a completely new moveset that's quite interesting and also different. Aside from that, you can actually experiment with this power-up, like attempting to take certain shortcuts using very efficient flying, which can sometimes be a huge success or ends up being a major setback. Stuff like this makes it fun, along with all the other challenges you will face along the way. Because as you can imagine, it's not just a bit of flying. Oh no, because enemies as well as other hazards will certainly come around the corner to bother you at some point. For example, mandybugs that walk and run around on the honeycombs themselves. These can come at you out of nowhere. And since you're so slow when climbing on this stuff, these can be hard to dodge. Most of the time, flying is the best way to escape them. So even when it comes to that department, you have fun stuff to deal with. Number 4. Another thing that's pretty well known is the fact that I love Super Mario Sunshine. Not a lot of people share that opinion with me, but hey, what do you do? However, regardless of that, there's a world in Super Mario Galaxy that reminds me of that classic a lot. And it does some really cool things, to be honest. I'm talking about Beach Ball Galaxy, of course. A world that instantly gives me that colorful summer vibe of Super Mario Sunshine. It's basically a huge beach area filled with penguins called a penguin paradise. However, there's more to it all. You only start off on the Penguin Island, where you mostly do missions underwater involving the swimming school found there. These stars are already a lot of fun to do since the penguins are fun to hang around with, and swimming using the shells works incredibly well in my opinion. But even if you don't really enjoy that, then there are still other planets around this place where you can go to. For example, Twinfall Lake, where you are playing around with the Ice Mario mechanic, which is extremely different from what we saw on the first planet. And the same goes for the Cyclone Stone, which is a platforming section where thwomps and tox boxes try to take you out. So in general, this place looks amazing. Just look at the first planet and Cyclone Stone. And they also offer a great variety of things to mess around with, which are some pretty solid reasons for loving this galaxy. And I think I'm not the only one who loves it this much, because almost everyone remembers this world very well, and I gotta say, that's for a very good reason. Number 3. Now, while our previous planet was fun and colorful, it isn't the only one in the game that fits that description. Another good example is Toy Time Galaxy. It's filled to the brim with toys, and a lot of stuff is made out of rainbow building blocks, usually acting as platforms, which is a really cool concept in my opinion. Aside from that, colorful trains appear as short transportation, and we also get to mess around with the Spring Mushroom and mini Mecha Bowsers in the level. Now, while some people think that the Spring Mushroom is just annoying, I actually like it a lot because it's fun to mess around with. It can be unpredictable and hard to handle, which makes it frustrating at times, but also extremely rewarding when you do pull off something perfectly. Aside from that, the level also offers a lot of variety. From a huge Bowser robot that's some sort of platforming boss fight, to an odd platforming section using one of the weirdest power-ups in the entire Super Mario series. Another section I like a lot in this level is the fight with the underground gunner, who has taken over one of the planets. Here you must once again use the spring mushroom and jump up on top of him so you can land a ground pound hit. This can be hard to pull off since it's unpredictable to an extent, but it's also the best use of this power-up seen in the entire game. It requires good timing and actual skill, otherwise you will just miss again and again and again. I even had trouble with this during my stream, but I'm even gonna go as far as to say that this is the most fun battle with this enemy in the entire game. Sure, it's very weird, but also great in my opinion. And I know some people won't agree with this statement, but that's fine. And I will admit, the one where you use the bee mushroom is also tons of fun. As you all know by now, I love that power-up. But in general, when I played through this galaxy again after a couple of years of not even touching it, I still had a great time and it offered a good challenge. So it certainly belongs on this list in my opinion. Number 2. Now in Super Mario games, we always come across some boss fights here and there. Some great and others are just okay. For example in Super Mario World, where we take on the koopalings. Most of these battles are dope and use the terrain around you in a good way. And in Super Mario Galaxy, there are also boss battles, of course. And there's one galaxy that was created just for that, and the beast you are fighting here is a lot of fun to take on. I'm talking about King Fin, who's seen in the Bonefin Galaxy, and just like Drip Drop Galaxy, it's basically a large body of water with a solid core. But I gotta say, this place looks a lot more interesting, because it has a large spiky shell shielding most of it. And on this planet we find this boss. It's a gigantic skeletal shark, and you must defeat it in order to earn a power star. That's all this galaxy is, and I gotta say, I love it so much for it. Because the boss battle you have on this planet is just amazing. As soon as you arrive on the planet, King Fin will appear with some skeletal fish guards that try to track you down to attack you. So those must either be avoided or taken care of. But your main goal is taking out the boss, of course. And there's only one way of doing this. Grabbing a green or red shell from the seafloor of the planet, getting close to it, and then spinning to launch it at King Fin. The more you hit him, the more guards will appear, and in time they will also become more aggressive. That's all the fight is. Now personally, I love going through the water with one of these shells. It controls well and gives you a good amount of speed, so using them in this fight is just a joy. When I first saw them in Beach Ball Galaxy, it was already a lot of fun to mess around with, but this world just takes it to a completely new level. It's by far my favorite underwater level in the entire game. It might even be my all-time favorite of the franchise. No other 3D game can match it, to be honest. And I gotta say, I don't even like water-based levels. So the fact that I'm saying I love this one is a really big thing. Number 1. Now we get to my favorite galaxy scene in the entire game, Hive Galaxy, which has amazing music, great characters, and a power-up that I love a lot. It's a forest-based galaxy filled with flowers, honeycomb walls, and is inhabited by friendly honeybees, who look adorable to be honest. The kingdom and its bee subjects are ruled by Queen Bee, and in this level we see the bee mushroom for the first time. So here you have your first experience with it. Now in total there are 3 bee-themed galaxies, the other 2 being Honeyclimb and Gold Leaf. And I have played through all of them as you can imagine. But even though those other 2 are a lot of fun as well, the first galaxy is for sure the best. It does a lot of things well in my opinion. For example, offering a wide range of challenges based on the bee mushroom. Doing a better job when it comes to this compared to all the other galaxies. But that's not all. This level has more to offer, which we see in the second mission, Trouble on the Tower. Here we get some good platforming sections that don't even involve any power-ups. And later on in this level, we also take on a load of enemies, which is yet again different, but well executed. In one portion, they even created a quite linear path where Mandy bugs will try to attack you, which is again an interesting section that works surprisingly well for being in a 3D world. But I will be honest, I like it a lot because of nostalgia as well. Back when I was a kid, I loved this level mostly because of the music and aesthetic, but even when I played through it again, it still held up really well. This galaxy is legitimately good, but I had to mention the bias. And that's about it. I gotta say, playing through Super Mario Galaxy again was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it a lot. And it was also a great excuse to finally make this video. So now you all know which ones I love the most. But But you know what I also love? If you subscribe and click the bell button. I tricked you. Now please watch more videos. There are like stuff in the upper right corner, like playlists and in the description and comments. So click those things and watch more stuff. Please help out your boy Wily.